Before I get started today, I got to give a shout out to a young lion. His name is KR Henderson, #1 quarterback in the country, headed to the University of Houston. Man, I'm proud of you, youngster. Keep working, keep your head down, stay focused. The work is just beginning. And let me add to that, I want to tip my cap to KR Henderson, his grandfather, aka Tone. Man, it's been a long journey. I want to thank you for your consistency, your ocular demonstration to the young man of what a grandfather, a grandparent is supposed to look like. The time that you deposited and the wisdom and the knowledge that you gave this young man. Hey man, it doesn't go unnoticed, big fella. Go Cougs. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about it. I started noticing some things this past week, and I had an epiphany. I did. Somewhere along the way, you start noticing some things. You look in the mirror and your hair starts changing colors. Some of us look in the mirror and our hair starts changing locations, right? But I mean, you don't have quite the energy that you used to have. Your athleticism isn't what it used to be, but your mind tells you you still got it. I know mine does. I jumped a fence the other week and it looked like a long way down to me. But your knees start shaking and they start saying, maybe we need to have a meeting once you land. And if you're not careful, okay, you start drawing conclusions from the changes that you see. You get what I'm saying? I mean, maybe my best days are behind me. These are some of the conclusions we come up with. Maybe my time is past. Maybe I'm finished. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Man, I'm here to tell you, you're not. Maybe you're not finished. Maybe you're just in the second half. Vince Lombardi has a quote that says something like this. He said, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. Think about that for a moment. I want that to sit with you. See, when you work too hard on yourself, I mean your health and your marriage, working hard on these children, raising these children, right? Working too hard, discovering your purpose. Surrender starts getting expensive, doesn't it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've got too much invested to quit now. And that's what I want to talk about today. Surrender gets expensive. This is Second Wind with KR Henderson. Gentlemen, think about when you were younger. I mean, man, youth will let you get away with a lot of stuff, right? You could eat 10 p.m. at night, go to bed, wake up the next morning and not gain a pound. I used to have a friend of mine. We used to play pool together a lot. He knows who I'm talking about too. I used to beat him to death, but that's a topic for another day. But he would eat a jumbo jack at 10 p.m. And every time I saw him, it looked like he still could run track for Rice University in Houston, Texas. Okay? You could skip a meal and swear you lost 5 pounds. Man, now I can walk by a piece of cake too slow and gain 2 pounds. You work out for 3 days and you could eat whatever you could stomach and look in the mirror and somehow everything was still where it was supposed to be. You could stay up half the night, get 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep, and then go to work the next morning. And we thought We were disciplined, right? No, we were young. There's a difference. Youth can cover up a lot of bad habits, but somewhere along around 40, the bills start showing up. The bills start showing up. I mean, now late night meals doesn't disappear quite as easily. The weight doesn't come off if you skip lunch. 3 days in the gym doesn't undo 4 days of eating whatever you want. Now you got to pay attention to your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your sleep, not to mention your regular checkups. And yeah, fellas, your sexual health matters too. Some of us wouldn't be looking for Viagra, Levitra, and Cialis if we understood, hey, you can't eat fried chicken and hamburgers every day. Carrying an extra 30 or 40 pounds and never exercise and expect your body to perform like you're still 25? Now, let me be clear. There are legitimate medical reasons why a man may need those medications. I get it. That's between you and your doctor. I'm talking about the things we can control, because you can't control second half. You can't expect second half energy using first half habits. Excuse me. Let me say that again. You can't expect second half energy using first half habits. The second half requires something the first half didn't always require. Intention. And I don't mean intentionally in ordering a Big Mac and fries at McDonald's once or twice a week. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I used to go to bed whenever I felt like it. And some of you know what I'm talking about. Didn't matter what time it was. I stay up late, get a few hours of sleep, get up early and keep moving, just go. I don't do that anymore. Most nights, somewhere between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., I'm going to bed. Not because somebody told me I have to. Well, somebody might tell me I have to. But not because I'm old or I can't stay awake. Purpose changed my bedtime. Make sense? I've got a new assignment and a new focus, and I've got things to accomplish, and I don't want to waste tomorrow recovering from what I did tonight. Does that make sense? I mean, man, I got something to do. See, gentlemen, when you find purpose, you don't need an alarm clock. Purpose will wake you up, I promise you. When you got something you're excited about building, when there's something you know you're supposed to finish. I mean, when you believe God has given you another assignment, you start protecting your time. You start protecting your energy. You start protecting your mornings. And you start looking at your discipline differently. Because discipline isn't always about denying yourself something. Sometimes discipline is simply what happens when you finally know what you're living for. Think about that. I mean, I'm not trying to prove I can still live life like the younger version of me. I'm preparing myself for the next version of me, because I've got another assignment. And this is where I want to talk directly to second wind men. You see the gray. You feel yourself slowing down a little bit. Recovery might take a little bit longer. You look around and people your age are starting to retire or talk about retiring. Okay? And somewhere in your mind, you can start thinking, man, maybe I'm supposed to be winding down too. But here's the addendum. Sometimes you don't even get to decide if you're finished. God has a way of bringing circumstances and situations into our lives that require us to keep going. Sometimes purpose shows up late, opportunity shows up late, fatherhood shows up late, or another child shows up late, let me tell you. And sometimes the assignment you were created for doesn't become clear until you've already lived enough life to think you ought to be slowing down. You ever think about that? I mean, then just all of a sudden you got another reason to get up. That's second wind. We're not trying to become 25 again. Understand me. I don't even want to be 25 again. There were some things that I didn't know at 25. And there were some things I thought I knew at 25 that I definitely didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But I've got something that the younger version of me didn't have, and so do you. Experience, perspective, wisdom, failures, successes, not to mention scars, right? Things I've gotten wrong, things I've finally learned to get right. And maybe all of that wasn't wasted. Maybe everything you've gone through was preparing you for something you couldn't have handled at 25. I'm just saying. Maybe you're not winding down, is what I'm saying. That's really what I mean. Maybe you're being reassigned. I mean, I've got some of my boys talk about retirement, and some of them have retired. And I salute them. But we rave about retirement. And I understand the retirement from working for somebody else, absolutely. I mean, retirement from punching somebody else's clock, I understand that. Retirement from somebody telling you when to come in, when to leave, and when to go on vacation. I've done that. I did that. I understand that too. As a matter of fact, some of y'all need to retire Friday. But I'm not talking about retiring from a job, okay? I'm talking about retiring from purpose. You see, retirement meaning I'm done. There's nothing else for me to do. Really? I'm just going to sit down somewhere and wait this one out? No. I've never looked at my life that way. I want to be doing whatever I'm supposed to be doing as long as God gives me the ability to do it. Because I've come to understand something. There's no retirement on God's program. And quiet as it's kept, there's no retirement on God's program. You can retire from God's career, but you don't retire from being a father. You don't retire from leadership. You don't retire from pouring into someone else. And you certainly don't retire from becoming a better man. You get what I'm saying? You don't retire from an assignment that God gave you. And that's what second wind is supposed to be about. More energy, purpose, leadership. In a nutshell. Energy because you got to have the health, right? And something in the tank to be able to carry the assignment. And then purpose because you've got to know why you're getting up every day. There was a while that I may have told you I didn't really know that. And leadership, because at this stage in life, this can't just be about you or me or us anymore. Somebody's watching. And guess who that is? Children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, young church members, younger men are watching. Somebody needs something that you have learned. They need something that you've survived from, bro. Somebody needs the wisdom that may have cost you 20, 30 years, maybe 40 years to acquire. I mean, I got that t-shirt. Your first half gave you experience, but the second half, you get what I'm saying, gives that experience an assignment. Am I making sense? This is why your health matters. And maybe we'll maybe we'll have a conversation about health at some point. I think that's coming. But this is why your energy and your discipline matters, because second wind isn't about trying to become young again. It's about becoming the man your next assignment requires. And that brings me really back to Lombardi. He's way before his time. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. Check that out. We understand that now, don't we, fellas? When you've worked on yourself, you've got too much invested. And my good men, some of us are not tired because we're finished. We're tired because we're working. There's a difference. Rest if you need to, right? Adjust if you need to. Maybe change your strategy if you need to, but don't surrender. The late, great Kobe Bryant said one of his instructors gave him a quote, rest at the end, not in the middle. But don't surrender. You see, for those of you biblical scholars, Paul gets to the end of his life, end of his journey. What does he say? I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Man, I like that. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about, finishing. Not perfectly. I mean, that would be facetious to even think that way. Not without getting tired, not without having to make some adjustments along the way. Just don't surrender. You've come too far. You've put too much in. You've deposited too much. And surrender is getting expensive. I'll leave you with that. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. You're not late. You're assigned. This is Second Wind with KR Henderson.